Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Headspace Podcast. This is the show where we talk about new hip-hop albums and we break them down track by track and tell you whatever we just think of based on what the songs say. And that's what the show is, exploration of the album instead of just the single. My name is Holden Stephan Roy.
My name is Chris Chrome.
And today we will be talking about Beast Coast, Escape from New York. We gonna get into the episode, but we are gonna do the intro bit. So if you want to skip that intro bit, check the description of the video where you can jump ahead. On that note, we care a lot about what you have to think, and well, we know where we are at with this. We are people who listen to the music and we do our best to appreciate, but sometimes we miss the point, or maybe we don't fully understand the brilliance, or maybe because we're recording this about a day and a half after the album came out, or we just haven't had time to appreciate it fully yet. So just, if you come across something where you feel like you gotta say something, I encourage you to say that shit. I just want to hear what you have to think, because if I say something that you might disagree with, it's kind of cool if you can show me your perspective and allow me to evolve my point of view. On that note, last week, what album did we talk about, Mr. Christopher?
Well, for last week's Headspace review, we talked about Tyler, the Creator's new album, Igor.
And to show you that we serious about this comment thing, I answer everybody, and we like to read the favorite comment from last week's video. On that, Sabalati OPG 609 said, "Gone Gone / thank you is my favorite one, lol." Probably because it wasn't our favorite one, but respect your opinions though. And what I like about that comment is the open-mindedness to the fact that we could disagree and still appreciate the same album, all things considered. And I thought that was a positive energy worth shedding some light on. But on the real, even if you want to call me a piece of shit, go for it in the comments. That's what we about, the real reels. Special thanks to the patrons in advance: Ismail Gadamsi, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black, Hurricanes, Chris Prado, and Lindell Williams. Talk a bit about that at the end. On that note, why don't we get into it tonight, Mr. Christopher? Why don't you tell the people, for the Google overlords and shit, who are we reviewing?
So for this week's Headspace album, episode 126, if I'm not mistaken, it's Beast Coast, Escape from New York.
Who's the Beast Coast?
Flatbush Zombies, Pro Era, the Underachievers.
Alright, so this is the part of the show where we're going to tell you our connection to each of these different artists and shit, because it's super important. If you've been down with these movements since like 2010, 11, whenever they formed in the first place, you've been riding through to this moment, you've been excited since the first ever announcements of Beast Coast back in 2012 and shit. You know, like, you've been excited for this album drops, you're going to be hyped up. On the other hand, if you're like me and just found out Beast Coast was a thing, like a couple of days ago, it might be like a different perspective, is what I'm trying to say. So that's why we like to contextualize it, so you don't think I'm going to be coming in here like I'm some fucking expert. I'm more of like a new exploration fan to some of these guys, because let me tell y'all one thing. I fucking love Flatbush Zombies. I have, ever since I heard Vacation in Hell, that album.
Yep.
I've been kind of obsessed with them. Anytime a motherfucker tries to tell me that there's nobody new in hip-hop doing something good, I tell them that is the album they need to listen to and to shut the fuck up, because those three dudes are something special. We all know Joey Badass has the reputation that he has, and he's quite the prolific rapper. I know about Pro Era because we reviewed the Capital Steez album, or the mixtape, I can't remember the name, American Corruption, which was a great experience. Super lyrical shit, super talented dude. Rest in peace. It's a very sad thing what happened, and I say that respectfully. I sometimes come off like an insincere jackass. I know it's not true. I don't feel that way inside, but like I was really like impressed with it. On the other hand, I have no idea who the Underachievers are. For me, they were completely new to this mix, and let's say the bulk of the members are Pro Era. While I can respect the fact that they're in Pro Era, meaning that they're probably dope-ass motherfuckers representing that, like, let's say, younger era of New York rap that's coming from that wave over there. And so it makes me excited because, well, when Chris said Flatbush Zombies, I was sold. Don't get me wrong. You had me at Flatbush Zombies. But then to back it up with all these talented MCs coming from New York to drop some super group-ass motherfucking shit on us,
I mean,
I was pumped to actually get to this album. I was very excited. I knew that I was going to be introduced to rappers that I would be excited to review in the future on this moment. That's what my feelings going into this. Very high expectations because Flatbush Zombies is super cool. What about you, Chris? How do you feel going into this project?
so about within the last 2 weeks, Beast Coast dropped a cipher, if I'm not mistaken, like a basement cipher or something. And I watched it because I noticed that like Flatbush Zombies was there. I noticed that I know AK the Savior, one of the members from Underachievers. I noticed him in the photo, and I also noticed Joey Badass, which we reviewed the last Joey Badass album. We reviewed the last Flatbush album, and I also know who the Underachievers are just for my own adventures. Just within the last 2 years, I've kind of stumbled on other rappers. So for me, it was like, dude, this is a legit supergroup of like a lot of rappers that I've reviewed. I know who they are, and I like them all. This is going to be a hype album. Now, in terms of that, the only two people that I'm a little bit more I guess, and I'm going to say a little bit more interested in the terms of I just don't know who they are, because again, we've already reviewed some of these artists, and I also know Underachievers from my own adventures, like I said, is Nyck Caution from, I'm assuming, Pro Era, and Kirk Knight from Pro Era as well. So those two guys, I was like, I'm interested to see what they can do as well, and how they kind of step up to these guys that I already know of. My other thing going into this album was, am I supposed to look at Beast Coast as like the other kind of supergroup collabs we've done, like when we do like the Doom people, right? Like how they do like Metal Face meets Starface and stuff like that. We have to kind of look at it as the two rappers are technically one person. So now I kind of was thinking, like, do I look at this
Starface?
Yeah.
I think Starface is kind of distinct in what it is.
I know that Starface is distinct. I'm saying that the fact that like that was like a group, right? Like there was two people.
Yeah, but it's also a character.
But that's what I'm trying to say. For me, like I'm looking at it like
Beast Coast is more like a Wu-Tang clan, like a team.
Right. I also see that as well. I kind of had this feel like it was supposed to, like the team itself.
Yeah.
Like they all kind of speak for one full.
But it's not like Starface, where they're all like the embodiment of a single character fighting in comic book battles versus dudes like Ghostface.
I'm not trying to take it to that extent. I just meant, like, am I supposed to look at this as the individual rappers?
You're supposed to look at this like a bunch of fly rappers making tracks together. That's what a group is.
I understand that.
I don't know what you're trying to embody. Like, I think, like, if you look at shit like Brockhampton or all these other groups, it's always just a bunch of guys with a collective vision making songs together.
But okay, so for me, Brockhampton is the group. Like, you don't have Brockhampton without the members. I'm saying that
you also don't have Beast Coast,
which I agree. But I also, because I guess for me, it's because I know them individually and I know who they are, like their characters individually and stuff. And then coming together as Beast Coast, I felt like there's supposed to be this like unison.
If like Eminem and Nas and Jay-Z and Busta Rhymes and like 5 other guys came together for a supergroup, would it not just be
I guess
those
it
guys?
Depends on how they present the album, but I get your point.
Like, I think I mean, it's cool, but I don't know that I would go that far. To me, it feels more like, I mean, look at the title, Beast Coast. So they're all from the East Coast, and they're all going beast, bringing it to the Beast Coast. So it's just LMCs on the East Coast doing their shit together. Escape from New York. You look at that title, and it makes me picture that, like, movie series, like Escape from LA and shit, with, like, that, like, I don't remember the exact premise, but I think they're in a prison or something, and they have to get out of it. I can't remember. But still, like, you also get, like, the sense that it's a dangerous situation, and this is their musical means, was, like, an escape from the rougher situations where they came from, and this is how they did it, you know, collectively or individually or whatever.
Right.
So I thought it was pretty cool. But I like the album cover. That's actually a very interesting cover. I just wanted to move into that. But what do you think about the title and cover?
I like the title. I mean, it does really represent, I feel like it does represent who they are in terms of kind of owning their side, owning their, they're all from New York, so owning their city in a sense. So that was really cool. I thought it was just like, they're beasts. They're all fucking great rappers. They're all big known names. So it was kind of just speaks for itself a little bit. The concept of escape from New York, I felt like there's gonna be some type of like, we're gonna get some pain, we're gonna get some experiences, we're gonna get some understandings of certain things, we're gonna get some struggles, some movements, and how they work through their area, their locations or whatnot. So it really felt like they're trying to find, or I guess the goal of this is trying to find that peaceful route, that escape from all the negativity and the drama. So that was really cool. As per the album cover, it kind of feels, and I don't know if I'm probably wrong, but for me it kind of feels like super 90s or super like nostalgic old school, in a sense of like just your friends chilling around this like psychedelic table. I know it's like a poster, but it kind of
looks
feels
like the black hole.
Right. It's like this psychedelic type thing, and there's all your favorite, like you gotta.
Well, it's just everybody's chains are there. If you look at that,
not
right?
just chains.
No, but like there's everybody's chains. So you have the R.I.P. Steve's chain.
Yeah.
But then you got the zombies chain, a couple of them, and I think it's just like a series of different. It's kind of like each of their people's jewelries thrown into the mix to kind of represent them.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got the Super Nintendo, and I couldn't figure out what game it was. But, it's got the little Super Nintendo cartridge there. It looks like there's a little bit of a Game Boy, a DS, not a DS, SP.
Is that the one that flips open?
Yeah, I think it's the older one, like before the DS.
It is an SP.
And then it's got like the explicit lyrical content thing kind of buried by the different, but it's like reminiscent of like those paraphernalia pictures of like, all the druggy shit, but like a more innocent thing, except for that little fucking creepy doll on the side. I actually thought the cover was cool, and like you look at it and it's very like, it catches your eye. It's got like something to it. And I thought that was a really swell cover, all things considered. I don't know what more to say about it. It was eye-catching, and it gave me some shit to look at.
Nice.
On that note, are you ready to get into this 13-track adventure? Would
ready.
you like to talk about It Ain't Easy, space, It Ain't Easy?
On the side and it don't hurt my confidence. I'm a born sinner, winning every.
I got a new laptop from work, and I use my work laptop, and look, it flips and it's got touch screens and shit, and I'm really happy with that. So I'm gonna try out this round with it like in tablet mode, and then probably flip back. Anyway, Chris, how do you feel about this track?
I like it. I thought it was a really strong start to the album. I felt like it had this. Honestly, it kind of felt like Vacation in Hell. I'm not even gonna lie about that. I feel like it was a Flatbush Zombie sounding track. I felt like a lot of the rappers kind of tried to, and I don't want to say imitate their style, but kind of like follow how Flatbush Zombies kind of puts their words together and kind of carries their verses. So right off the bat, after listening to the first song, I do want to put this out there. I didn't know how I was going to review this, because there's some verses that I like, and I like what the people are saying, and then there's some other verses from artists that I'm just like, whatever. There's like 7 verses on this. I could do without this one. So a lot of the times I'm going to just probably pick which one verse I like the best and talk about it. I will mention how I like what I feel about the other rappers, but I don't have lyrics from like everybody. Verse 1, we have Zombie Juice. I felt like he came out pretty strong. He has that like his kind of like raspy, high pitched voice a little bit. I thought it was cool. He's like, bitch, I'm a hustler, flex like a wrestler. Ring came from Russia, spread you like mustard. Feeling no pressure. Yeah, we get slept on quick, and my bread.
Allow me to just say, Flatbush Zombies, we don't sleep on you. We got your back, Flatbush Zombies. Go on, Chris.
It's all good. So he's coming in strong, just representing like they're working, they're grinding. The wordplay with flexing, with suplex, flex, or flex your muscles like a wrestler. That was cool. And then following that, I kind of feel like everybody's verse kind of has that same type of feel. Like we're just all these very active, going out, grinding for our money, making it what we have to, like doing what we have to do to kind of survive and, try to get out from whatever it is we're dealing with. One of the lines that really, really stuck out with me was Kirk Knight when he said, she called me She called me a jerk, she getting rejected. Spent that dough, I get injected. Keep that toolie undetected. I keep count of all blessings, get in tune or disconnected. Now, I like how he's kind of just, the way he spit that was really cool. I found it to be one of the trickier verses on this song. The way he like chopped up the bars there was also pretty cool, and that's what I really enjoyed. I liked verse 7 from AK the Savior, one of the members from Underachievers. I am completely biased. I like everything he says and does. It doesn't matter what he says, his whole verse. I just like how he performs his raps. I like his choppity flow. I like his voice on it. I like his syllable play. I'm gonna end up quoting the entire verse, so I really just like the whole thing. Everyone else kind of matches up to each other. They do very well introducing who Beast Coast is, and everybody kind of gets like these, you know, like 30-second type verses, and they're all kind of going through, and it was really cool. Like, it was really interesting to see how they all came together and kind of flowed through one another, and it was a really great start. Verse 6, I do like CJ Fly's voice. He's got this like very kind of bass tony voice on this verse, so that was really cool, something that I really enjoyed. Overall, I mean, I like the song. I left it with a 4.5. I really think it was a good starting to the album as well. It kind of also gave me some nostalgic feeling of Vacation in Hell, coming off of that Flatbush Zombie album. I know that this isn't just them, but it had that similar feel, that sound, kind of like they were starting off from old times and coming into new. So yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it.
All right. So allow me to be abundantly clear about one thing. Chris has his favorite. There is nobody on this song that I enjoy more than Meechy Darko. Meechy Darko has a delivery mechanism with this enthusiasm and an energy and a cadence and an expressiveness to his voice that I find delightful. So when he goes, bitch, I'm a hustler, tall like a wrestler, reaching my breadlock, going fuck like a porn star, I'm not 100% sure I care that much that he has an excellent dick and that his sex is so impressive that she'll be coming in seconds. Like, that is kind of a cool thing to know about him. Impressive dude. But the way he says it makes me want to listen to it again and again and again. And for that, Meechy, you're my man, dude. You can just keep saying shit. You could read the phone book. It would be like, Brenda Jones, you know, some shit like that. And I'd be like, fucking, give me your phone number, Meechy. Just give. I just really like his voice. But on the real, the production's excellent. We got a comment recently on one of our DMX reviews, and he was just kind of describing how, like, rappers don't just take the posse, go all in, forget about a hook, and spit a bunch of bars. And then, like, we got that comment, and then I heard this shit, and I'm like, oh, well, there you go. A New York rap posse, because it was a New York rap posse that has gone all in with a bunch of rappers, forgetting about the chorus, and everybody's kind of flowing it through. They all, for the most part, they're kind of taking little variations of the same beginning of the verse to keep it consistent. But what we're getting here is a series of rappers who are just kind of like, it kind of reminded me a little bit of like that Wu-Tang feel. Like, everybody trying to do the best verse possible. Like, oh, this is the beat, everybody trying to write the best verse. Whoever had the best verse, the best parts, that's what made the album. Everything else went like, boom, get out of here. And I'm hoping that's how it went down. That would be kind of exciting to see that kind of competitive energy with this level of superstars to fight for the shit. Still, it starts off, as you said, with Zombie Juice, and I really enjoyed his verse. I think he's got like a proper rapping cadence. It's a nice way to start, but like there's an energy where it's lyrical, but it also doesn't just feel like the same shit that you've been hearing this whole time. Like, bitches like Flintstones, I seen them big stones, ballin' like Jim Jones, Flatbush, that is home. I'm not going to say it's the most like inventive shit, but I'm also going to say I don't hear everybody sounding like this. It's kind of creative. Erick, another Flatbush, may I say, he's quite delightful too as he comes on through. You know, starts up, it ain't easy, used to be a spoon, coon, and now you on coon on TV, all bad. I don't know if I'm allowed to say coon, so if I'm not, I'm sorry. Swear to shit I'm seeing, don't believe the seasons, only way I fall is if I crack my kundalini, sweetie. And so what I'm hearing here is he's kind of identifying some fake shit in the midst of it. So while Zombie Juice is pointing out how fucking dope they are and shit. Erick's kind of pointing out how fake other people are in light of the fact that, you know, this game is what it is. So you get the sense that this album, Chris is right, it's a great introduction to it. This is flossing. This is them maybe putting on their most bravado that they're going to be putting on this project into kind of like running with it. And I'm okay with that. This is some great shit so far. We're like 2 verses in and like it's fucking dope. Like I'm wear the thing out like New York Fashion Week as he's talking about smashing a girl. She a freak, fit physique. She done came up on the beat for the blog, got the Glock tote designer boxer briefs. It just sounds good. It is blowing. It is a little bit vapid in this like celebratory nature of we can get designer shit now, we can fuck girls now, we can do all this stuff now. But you also get the sense that these are guys who have like worked for ages and they're kind of like reveling in the spoils of their success. They're doing it from a perspective of like we earned this after grinding, not just we're the shit. You fucking love us because we do this. I think there's a bit of a difference there. And then Nyck Caution comes in. I believe he's pro era. Bitch, I'm a hustler who don't fold under pressure. After I fuck you, I'ma forget you. And again, it's just like this kind of vapid, flossy lines the whole way through. Each guy kind of takes a different twist, though, on tone and voice. And they all have multiple flows they drop throughout the album. So I have to give them credit on not being redundant song to song, as we'll get to see. So while each of them does a short little vignette giving off their style and their reflection, you know, each guy kind of coming in properly. Like, I like when Kirk Knight's like, she called me a jerk, she getting rejected, spent that dough, I get injected, you know, like, it's just got this flow to it. The way he's spitting those words is completely different than anybody else on the track.
His, and I forgot to mention this, but the way he switches the flow was pretty cool too.
And then the way the beat flips up under CJ Fly immediately after. What this song does is it creates this alive experience where, because there's so many people with so many different dope styles and everybody's rapping at like pretty much the same quality level. I don't know what the fuck Chris was talking about in terms of this guy's better. Nah, man. I would say like flat out, every one of these guys being kind of different is what makes this song totally dope, because everybody clearly is in like the same vein of playing field. They're all comfortable together and they're all ridiculously talented people. This was a no-brainer, man. This is the first song on the album. It got me motherfucking excited. It ain't easy, but it got a 4.75 on an opener, and that's hard to do because it usually takes me a few songs to get warmed up to get all generous with grades. Anyway, the truth is, I don't be giving no love with my left hand. Allow me to be abundantly clear. I went from being like, wow, this is fucking dope, exciting, to this is absolutely fucking dope, exciting, which is a whole level up. Like, if there was anything we could do to make that last song better, they just did it here. Maybe it's the hook, which is dope, because who does the hook? The homeboy Meechy Darko, which is just a great way to start out the song. But even before that, it really inspired me. Yeah, I'm loyal to the soil. I die for mine. What would you do? I made a note that bonded in blood. Beast Costa Nostra. And I was like, yeah, that's some real shit. Like, here's the thing, man. I'm that blood or die type shit, too. Like, I'm into that, like, depth. Like, if I swear loyalty, it's like I would take that bullet from a motherfucker. And I know a lot of people talk that shit, but I have real conviction. Look how much fucking reviews I've done with no views. That's conviction, motherfucker. And what I'm trying to say is the fact that you can kind of feel that core bond. This is a group that since 2012 has had the same members, and they drop in a project 7 years later. That's like some oath shit. Then this video comes in and it fakes being like a one-take feel for the beginning, and then it just gives up on that concept as it just goes into cutting shots. But right at the beginning, it does like this one-take feel. Meechy jumps in, and you just want to start. I was in my chair, and I'm like, yeah, everybody's saying I'm a dead man. This right here is a confession. I never showed love with my left hand. Why? Because it's kind of rude in some cultures to do some shit with your left hand. So to be so like for real, if you go to certain places in the world and your left hand's like a dirty hand, and you're not supposed to do shit, so it's better to use your right hand. So that's a cool line that shows some worldliness in Meechy Darko. I bet you weren't expecting some real shit from that, but it's so hype. Never really fuck with no yes man. I don't like yes men either, because they're fucking pansies that dilute your like understanding of truth. And nobody needs yes men. They're fun. It's kind of nice to have people who like all your shit, but it's so invaluable. that I appreciate Meechy coming in. Think LSD be my best friend. I can't defend that quite the same, but I kind of want to try it one day, so who am I to judge him? Dick's so big, use it as a kickstand. I knew Meechy had a big dick. You can just hear it in the way he raps. It's like, I don't know what to do with that. Rarely ever leave the house without my weapon. Alright, if you hate and plot from a distance, die. I like it. It's just like, he's got a dick that's huge that he could beat you with, and he's going to have a weapon, which could also be his dick that he beats you with. And then, if you hate and plot from a distance, and I appreciate that, because motherfuckers do hate, and he just wants you to die if you're going to be fucking around with their success. I really like Meechy. He's my favorite part. But no, the song flows through, and it's very similar to the last one in the sense that everybody coming through and just spitting some hard-ass shit, I think. Like, Nyck starts off, everybody's saying I'm reckless, I ain't evil, but I got some bad intentions. And in the video, it fakes this one shot camera pan back to Meechy, as it's like never show love, but my left hand brings it in. And it just kind of flows through, man. And it's a really dope and high energy, fun, just almost like this is a banger, okay? This is a song that deserves the flame emojis. It deserves the red 100s. It's some shit that gets me super hyped up. CJ Fly comes in, and I think he's also dope. I like when he goes, got the tech, I stay connected like it's Best Buy. That's actually pretty dope, because, he's got like drugs and other situations possibly in place, or knowledge, or maybe he's talking about like good weed brownies. I'm not trying to assume I know what he's connected to, but he's so connected, it's like Best Buy, super conglomerate mega company. Dope. If you dap me with your left hand, something ain't right. So it's like a code. Chris, dap me.
No, that's not a dap. The dap is this, then you slap it, and that's it.
Okay, so
it's literally that. It's that.
That's a fucking stupid thing. That's what we
dap.
all do.
When you give a dap, you're supposed to, you extend your arm and then bop. That's a dap. You're like, if we're ever on stage and we're spitting a verse and you're about to change it, you tap me in like a wrestler, you give me a dap. Boom. Yep.
Oh, because he doesn't have time for fake shit.
So dap me with your left hand now.
I don't want to.
See, that's the point. It doesn't even feel right to go left like that.
No, it's because it would be like I'd be disrespecting you. The song's literally talking about
that's
that.
What I'm saying. It feels weird to go with your left hand. It's all.
Chris is funny. He's just watching when they space shift. I don't know. I just wanted to quote the next line. Then it's really dope to me. Erick comes in with the next one, and it's fucking dope. Also,
I like Erick when he goes, "Keep my composure with brethren until I'm draped in fabric like a reverend.
Flee. So
so don't feed me no excuses. I'm ahead of them.
No.
Yeah, they jealous because they cannot do it better than I."
Everybody's saying and the way that they end the verses, it kind of just seems to like flow into the next person, almost like the guy who had finished the line had written the line right before perfectly for the next one. Like, this is true top tier posse cut type shit. Like, you just want to hear who's coming next, and you want to hear it. To be fair, I would agree, Erick. I'm a huge fan of your group, so you are the people I'm saying are one of the greatest. I agree that not many can do it better than you, and I'm not jealous. I'm a big fan of the Flatbush Zombies because they fucking dope. That's all I'm trying to say. And then Meechy comes in, does his chorus again, and you're still hyped up. Zombie Juice does his one. I mean, I like that I'm Jesse on the track, Owens on the mat, because Jesse Owens is a wrestler, and that's kind of cool. I don't really know the Jesse on the track part, but I really enjoyed the overall pun. I thought it was cool. All he knows is facts, facts, and more facts. And you know who did a song with Jadakiss called Facts? That's like, every girl, blah, 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 da, 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 facts, every girl without an ass ain't pop. It was on the fucking Vacation in Hell album, Chris. It was one of my favorite songs. It was Facts featuring Jadakiss, because it's a dope ass shit. So sorry about that ruin of interruption here. I guess that's cool. Still, it was dope, so I really like that shit. Chris's favorite came next, right? Act the Savior?
Yeah, the Act did a good verse, but
come on, he molded your bitch like Play-Doh, and now she specialized in head like Kangol. That was actually like fucking dope. That was a sweet fucking line. I really enjoyed it.
But I don't. Again, my thing is because I know I'm biased to Act, so I don't always want to give him like that shining light. Because on this one, I'm actually looking more towards
Meechy.
Not even Joey. For me,
Hold on. Why don't we? You're skipping ahead. Then there's Kirk.
Yep,
and
go
he's
ahead.
totally doing fine. I don't have a lot to add, but I like when he's like my license suspended. Skirt, coast like the ocean. You drown any second, and fuck your protection. Anybody can. Everybody's saying I'm a. I don't know. It just flows so nice to me.
Is it?
Then
No, it's not this one.
there's Meechy's bridge, which might be the best part of this entire song, in my opinion. When he's just like, the police told me I don't give a fuck. My homies told me I don't give a fuck. My OGs told me I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. Government, media, president. Think about that for a second. That's deeper than the face value throw up your middle finger shit. And trust me, you should be throwing up your middle fingers to that shit. However, if you really understand the power of psychology and words being said to you, what he's actually communicating to us is if everybody around you is communicating to you, perhaps as a young black man, that you don't give a fuck, you will on a subconscious level start to believe that shit. And therefore, you don't give a fuck. But look, it's all the authority figures that told it to you first. Boom. Mic drop. And then, okay, talk about Joey.
Well, actually, I was gonna say that I'm actually surprised that we kind of came up with the same thing on that one, because I really like how
because
Meechy,
that's the truth of his message.
right? I like how Meechy did the bridge. I like how, in terms of walking around like a dead man and feeling like nobody gives a fuck, it's like kind of it coexists together. Like you feel empty inside. You feel like a lot of the shit that you're doing is not really worth it. You kind of feel dead inside, and it's because people don't give a fuck. It's because you were told this, or this is the environment you come from. And it was really, really like those like the chorus and the bridge really connect the entire song together, I guess, in my opinion. So that was cool. Verse 7, I like Joey Badass, and it's not because he said anything that was really like, oh my god, but it's the fact of everybody on this track so far is kind of like just more hyper, more out there. They're changing their voice, they're doing this, they're doing that. Joey kind of seems like a boss. Now, I'm not saying that none of these guys are bosses. No, they all have that boss, like that the way that they're kind of flexing on it, and it's good. But just the way that like he's super kind of calm, and he's just kind of there with like, and his voice is super low, like almost like a whisper. It has like this really like. So, like, picture this: taking shots of the bullet, got me dead bent. Finger on the trigger, pull it. You a dead man. No, not close. Need to understand distance. Beast Coast taking over. It was destined. It's like I'm not doing it right, but the way he does it is so boss-like, like nonchalant. I could give less of a fuck of what you have to say. I am super collected, super like just got myself ready and prepared, and if I have to, I'll blast you. Like there isn't this like overextended hyperactiveness to it, which I'm not saying is bad. It's just it really stood out to me how he was just more, I feel like, more collected on his verse in terms of presentation than the other guys. Everyone else flowed very, very well.
Hold on. Issa is coming through feeling like James Bond, and enemies bucker softer than cotton and cream corn is kind of a fun line, just because you don't expect him to follow up with something like cotton and cream corn as such a ridiculous follow-up to James Bond, but still kind of works because that is what James Bond's enemies are kind of like. And then can we point out that Meechy sounds dope on the outro as the song closes, and it's the true star of this song. But I agree with Chris about Joey Badass has this suave, kind of like cool, calm cucumber flow that's going on here, where he's like, like everyone else is raising their volume and he's going quieter, and that I think that's really noticeable in the finesse in the way he delivers his lines with that confidence. And I don't know what you gave this song, but I gave this song 5 because this is the best fucking thing. Like, it blew my fucking mind. It was so dope.
The song landed at a 4.6 for me. I enjoyed it.
So it's basically a 5. I understand what you're saying. On that note, because Chris didn't give it a 5, we have some fucking problems. Oh, that's a different song.
The harbor, pull out the weapon and turn you to stardust. Know when we step in, the drip is enormous.
Yay, a Flatbush Zombie song. I mean, not really. It's got more people on it, but it has such a feeling that it has the feeling that I really like from the Flatbush Zombies album in general. That really got me kind of addicted to their sound. And maybe all the dudes is dropping this sound. And if that's the case, just tell me the albums, and inevitably we'll review them, because I got a request saying if we would go back to each of these guys' earlier shit, maybe check out like earlier albums from these dudes. yeah, we probably will do that because it's a fucking great idea. I'm not convinced that they're that talented at this point. What do you think about Problemz?
I like Erick on the chorus. I like
So
how he is holding the last word of every line. He's kind of carrying it off into like this echoey feel, which was really cool. I like that softer kind of singier tone that he's using. It really shows a lot of diversity compared to the last track where he was more kind of like upbeat and heavy into it. So that was really cool. I like the kind of realness of the chorus. Everybody got problems. It's all about how you relate. My play will prosper, though, so I'm gonna handle the weight. The world's so toxic, hey, separate the real from the fake. Why wait for tomorrow, though? Instead, I'm gonna start with today. I like that aspect of like taking charge and living, like that carpe diem type of thing of living in the moment.
It's more than just that. So it's kind of identifying some empathy to a situation where the whole world's got their own version of problems. And that even comes down to the grander social debates that are going on. And it's all about how you relate. So are you going to sit there and talk about all the contrarian points of view of things, or are you going to try to understand people? Are you going to be a hater? You're going to be jealous? All of this comes down to how you relate to moments and situations. His actions and his plan is going to lead him to victory. So regardless of what's thrown in his face, he's going to take on the challenge of it, including the toxicity of the world, which allows you to separate the real from the fake, kind of like how creamy milk substances separates the THC from marijuana and tea. Why wait for tomorrow, though? Instead, I'm going to start with today. And that's basically kind of wrapping it all up. So you see kind of the bigger mission statement and shit, and this weeding out process. So why are you going to wait till tomorrow to go through all that? I'm going to make the right choices today moving forward. So yes, there's a bit of a carpe diem vibe, but a carpe diem towards wisdom and smarter choices and shit.
Right. I like how in verse 1, Erick is kind of expressing his, his problem. And it seems to be that it's kind of like, and I liked how he kind of took in the streaming. I've been to too many shows, jaded because I'm missing paper for music. They lose and they quick to download. Normally I would just speak for myself, but this time I got a lick from the woes. Word this world losing your soul. What is your ultimate goal? If you don't play, you don't fold. And that was some real wisdom right there in a way. Like first, well, for me, like I like how he brought up the streaming. So I've been to too many shows, jaded because I'm missing paper from music. They losing because they quick to download. And it's like now we're moving into this streaming era and we're continuing and going on. And it's like he's really bringing up that point of like money making now and how the industry is kind of changing, and he's worried about, you know, his finances and what's going to happen with all the money and stuff. So that really kind of like shows that he's trying to be like more on top of his game, and he's trying to figure that out. I like how he questions what the ultimate goal is in terms of asking you like as a fan, or like maybe he's talking to someone else, and like the fact that he's not just asking like what your goal, but your ultimate, like your final goal, and making you think. That was pretty cool for me.
For me, that's cool because I know a lot of people. I mean, I'm in my 30s now, so we're not like kids to people that I talk to. And I say kids, I mean, at 20, you might not know what you want to do, and that's totally fine. At 25, most people still don't really know what they want to do, and that's a lot less fine, but it's still kind of fine. So in your 30s, it's like there's so many people whose ultimate goal that I know is just to make a lot of money. Like, we're talking like CEOs and shit. Like, you listen to them, and there's guys who have vision, and they want to like change the world, or they want to do some shit, or take care of people, or whatever. And then there's people whose dream is to just get to a point where they don't have to work because they're so fucking rich. And it's like, well, their whole end goal is material wealth and money and shit, you know? So definitely there's some shots at like other rappers and their intentions in this kind of little world, even though you got this dude who's like, we're in it for the art and the purity of this shit.
Absolutely.
So then you have other rappers who might be out there just in it for the cash flow, and not just rappers, but just people with any kind of projects. You're either going into some kind of creative realms, and you have to make a decision. Are you doing this for money, or are you doing this for the integrity of what you're doing this, you know? And then, like, I don't know, like, I feel like it gets expanded upon with Ak's verse, you know?
Well, it does. So then you get the chorus back from
Let's
Erick.
be clear. Ak is quite lovely, and Chris is not wrong. But CJ Fly's little singy part, and that's the way it goes. Some problems can't be solved. Beautiful.
That refrain was very beautiful, and I wanted to touch upon that as well. And that's the way it goes. Some problems can't get solved. it's like this sort of acceptance that certain things just can't change, certain things can't, I guess, be solved or resolved, and you kind of have to learn how to adapt and live with them. It's like probably one of the realest things that I've heard lately, and a lot of the times it's like we can overcome our problems, we can do this if you try, if you grind, if you succeed, if you progress, you'll succeed and stuff. But there's just certain things, like super real, there's just certain things you can't solve. There's certain things you kind of have to just let it go, or you have to kind of find a way to just...
And so I take it like this really comes down to maybe relationships with people, right? Sometimes it comes to a point where you might want to be friends, or you might want to have some good things happen, or it might be love, or it might be whatever. But like, there are people who we just don't see eye to eye enough to work with each other. And being involved in somebody where it's like you guys are just on the other side of shits could be like a riff or a problem that can't be solved. Like if you guys fundamentally disagree on some core ideological point, and it creates like a confrontation anytime. Or I guess it's just like the serenity prayer of recognizing the wisdom that some shit cannot be changed, you know?
Right.
Moving on past that. And then act the savior.
Well, Act's verse actually for me kind of felt just simple, generic. Fuck all that fake shit. People be posing. I put in work while these people be yawning. You can rehearse, but this shit is my aura, which that line I like. Shit that we totin' will break through your armor. So, okay, you're smoking pretty loud weed, and it'll basically break someone's defense down.
It's more than that. Like, these people are kind of faking shit. So you can rehearse, but this shit is my aura.
Right.
So that's like saying, y'all can practice and y'all can try to be better rappers. Y'all can put
Absolutely.
in some work, but I breathe this, so you can't fuck with that. And you know what? I can appreciate what you're talking about. There is a difference between rapping for a couple of years and rapping for like half your life, right? There is a difference between the skill level that comes through it. Like the ability to flip some shit off at the top and to be able to come up with a rhythm and shit, to be able to just flow in a way where you're not copying clearly certain styles and stuff. Whereas with these dudes, it just feels like they're all comfortable fucking around and saying what they want to be saying on every
Right.
verse. So when you hear him, it sounds like he's a guy who's come from a certain past, and he's gone through some real shit, and he's hearing some shit, and he's like, I don't really believe this to be the truth, and your negative energy fucking sucks.
Absolutely. And I did get all of that from that. I just,
You
again,
don't have to like it.
well, I like it because, again, like I like how he presents it. I love his voice. I love how he does his bars. So I do like it. It just wasn't like, ooh, I mean, there's other tracks that he's on that I'm like, okay, this verse I like more.
That's fine.
Issa Gold did a pretty good job.
Come on, Silent Night, no Jesus Christ. I need to keep my life right.
That's a powerful line.
Oh gosh, that's a powerful line. And he's looking at the struggle of like trying to handle all the problems of the world with the struggle. Like, get the bag and hold it tight, cut no slack, it's on sight, running back and go snipe, but it's back, that's all night. And it just kind of looks like that conflict that you hear of like trying to get that money situation, but also
Right.
doing the right thing.
Right.
And just feels powerful. Like, and it's just each of these guys, kind of like Brockhampton, kind of like other groups and stuff, just flows on a core kind of theme, but each guy gives you their own take and perspective, so that you're getting this different little vignettes of ideas popping through the whole way. And I find it, because of their near equal talent set, that it just stays fresh and interesting.
Absolutely.
Zombie Juice, I mean, come on, we're talking about Flatbush again. I know how it feels sometimes. Gotta get a peace of mind, then we get peace of mind. No way, life is hard. You know what? It's not really what he's saying. It's kind of how he's saying, ending on the little singy shit that I find really just adds a different element to the song, kind of breathes some difference into it at this point into it.
Well, I wanted to just touch upon, so he goes, I know how it feels sometimes. Gotta get a peace of mind. Then we get a peace of mind.
Which
And
is...
I like, in a way, and I'm not like saying he's claiming this, but I like how I'm interpreting it as the peace of mind in terms of materialistic. I need my money, my piece of the cake, my this, so that once I have this, I will be peace in my own mind. And I like how I don't think he's claiming that that's what he does. I think that he's speaking in a general term.
He's trying to say that he's got to
like
get. It's when you get money, so peace of mind. you get rest and like security
Well,
and comfort.
I mean,
So
I
a peace
assume he's
of
probably
mind.
talking about money, but I'm taking it more as like just the concept of if somebody wants something to make them happy.
Yeah, but a peace of mind is always going to be like money. It's getting your slice of the cake, per se.
Fair enough.
You know, no way. Life is hard. You'll find your life. Purpose got to shine. That's an interesting line, too. Like, you can't get by with the fake shit, in my opinion. I don't know. Then you have Nyck Caution doing his last little bit and making references to Luka Doncic, who I found out is a very young basketball player. Okay. I digress. I like this song. I don't like it as much as the last one, but I still like it. I think, man, the first 3 songs on this album, excellent motherfucking hip-hop. Unbelievable that this shit is being dropped in 2019 with such proficiency. 4.5 on 5.
I agree. I think the song does a really good job at kind of in capturing like what they're trying to present as going through problems and kind of getting over it and working hard to get at a better place. I did want to comment on the bridge. Now it goes, take time when your mind is fragile, no key, but I'm keeping the patek. You can see if you reach and imagine, inside can leave with a fashion, free falling. I don't need no static. This song with an automatic, wanna go, but you just don't get it. No rehearsal, we just don't let it. And I really like how they're kind of in taking this idea of walking around with this fragile mind and needing to, well, no key, he's not selling drugs, cocaine, crack, but he's keeping the patek. So clearly he's making money out here. He's kind of making drug money out here without having to sell the drugs. It's kind of showing like you can actually be lavish and stylish and stuff without having to go down these dark paths. You can go and get a job and do some really good shit to also attain the same things that rappers are making. So that was actually a pretty interesting line. I like how, you can see if you reach and imagine, like just having that vision and just going for it. Like that whole idea of like the sky's the limit and there isn't really a limit. You just got to go for it and believe in yourself. Like that was really cool. Inside can leave with a fashion. I don't think I really understood that. I feel like it's just like if you're inside like a party or like an event or whatever, like if you're that connected with your dream or what you're reaching for and you're making that type of money or whatever, you can like leave in a stylish way. Free falling, I don't need no static. I like how he's using that like free falling concept of being free and allowed to do what they want and not keeping it one way and super like he's kind of acting more dynamic than he is static, but in the terms of free falling, like not really knowing where you're gonna land, not really knowing what's happening. So it's like this sense of freedom but through chaos. So that was pretty cool. This song with an automatic, I don't actually know unless he's really referring to an automatic weapon. I'm not really sure. Wanna go but you just don't get it. I like that. It's like everybody wants to do certain things, everybody wants to get to the next level or whatever, but you don't actually know how to maintain that level. You don't know how to do what that requires yet, but you're so eager to go there. You need to kind of take that time to, increase. And then no rehearsal, we just don't let it. It's like this is all, in a way, maybe off like the top of the head, they're kind of like being like, we're this good that we can just spit these things. But at the same time, it's like I like how they don't need to rehearse. They can just keep producing and just keep it all in the back of their head and just go out and rehab that energy.
I feel like it flows into the next line, right? Because we just don't let it take time when your mind is fragile. I feel like it was kind of like a little connection there. I don't know. Last little bit there, it looks like they're just pointing out that if your mind is feeling a little bit weak, take some time, like get your shit right and focus and do what you got to do. So anyway, the rest of what you're saying is fine.
I actually really enjoyed this song a lot. I actually landed at a 4.7. This was really, really a strong song for me.
All right, well, the next one is Far Away. This one's about girls, so we moved on to a different subject. I could see how a lot of people would like Kirk Knight's singy chorus, but it's just the most generic part of this album might be that hook. It's like, I see you peeking from far away, I'll wait for another day. Like, it's just a regular hook. It is the most regular thing on this album. Moving past that, Meechy, of course, comes in and saves the day by at least talking about fucking another guy's girl in a way that I can get behind. So the vagina that he is going to be acquiring from somebody is so fantastic that he's going to pay the child support so that dude can get the fuck out of here because he's not welcome no more. It's his pussy. He's going to pay the mortgage and all her rent. And he likes it so much, he's going to get needles on his fucking dick to get her name inked up on that shit. He might just fuck around and buy her a ring. So what I'm hearing is Meechy is being fiscally responsible and supportive to understand that if there's a child involved in the promiscuous sex you're having, that you should take that into consideration and pay the bills if you're going to claim the vag, which is actually really good for the child support system and all that kind of stuff. Then he goes, no, I'm tripping. That's what happens when you got off a tab, some LSD. And I'm like, oh, I guess he was just high. And he was just tripping off of all that shit. He's talking about how amazing this girl is and all the things he's going to do.
Well,
but not really, because that was some acid. And then he goes into fucking her. And that was how the verse kind of ends. But you know what? I really enjoyed it still because it was inventive as all fucking anything.
I think it might actually go a little bit deeper. So I feel like the first part where he's kind of like obsessing with over this woman and just kind of giving himself to her vagina is him in his days, clearly, because he's on LSD and he's like fucking high out of his mind. But I like how, for me, I'm interpreting the verse of like, this is some of the things that could happen in the lifestyle that I live, because a lot of the verses on this song are all about the different artists and how they love different women and all this shit. But Meechy's verse really kind of has this like, yeah, I love the pussy because I'm really fucking high, but even after he kind of snaps out of it, he still kind of, you know, gives back and kind of pleases her as well. But it's not in this, it's no longer in this like head over heels type state. So the first half, it's like, pussy's so good, I pay another person's child support,
yeah, because
you know, all that stuff.
Ripped.
But then like my tongue on the some LSD and some sex, my tongue on the mouth, my hand on the breast, don't try to kiss me after a head, I'm a man of respect. It's like you got a gold mine in between those legs. You ever had a gold smile person give you head? It's like there's more of a boss attitude now. And I feel like he's giving this illusion of this is what happens on drugs when you're fucked up, and when you come back to reality, you kind of come back into this nah, I'm in control. Because I felt like he was giving himself to her at the beginning. Like, just the fact that it was so good, he's ready to buy her a house and pay for this kid and all this stuff. I felt like he's in this daze and I'm ready to do this. And then he snaps back and he's like, nah, I got to be the boss, man. I'm just going to keep it what it is. Keep it kind of like...
In general, boss men don't go down on ladies usually in that shit.
Well, he's trying to be nice and please her.
I'm right. That's where I'm calling bullshit on your little argument. It just seems a little too generous after. No, I mean, it's totally fine. He comes back down and he's just like, nah, we're just fucking. Let's just have some pleasure together instead. That's what I took from it. And then my favorite part is actually Erick's weird hook thing. Where it's like headed to the mental word when I'm saying I'm going to give it to her. It's just the way he sings it in this like high-pitched, kind of creepy horror movie almost kind of way while he's saying shit like taste a piece, soak her up, fuck her good, love her lust. And I really just like the overall tone of it. Then we get Kirk going all in on the singing, whatever. I could deal with not having that. Then Nyck Caution does a super standard verse, in my opinion. I do appreciate when he goes a little extreme, though, with word to Kirk, yo, what it is, tat her name on my wrist. If I slice him, we both gonna die from this. I'm suicidal when I'm not in your presence. You know, you want it even more when it's not in your possession. That's true. Women always want your dick more when you haven't been around for a couple of days. Go around away for a couple of days, she's gonna be all over that shit. You're around every day? Well, she might not be as down for it because you're around every day, and so I don't know how that is. Anyway. Give me some time, make a little investments, know you feel a little neglected. Sounds like he's kind of manipulating the situation, but he's also completely emotionally dysfunctional and shit. He does not sound like the kind of person you should date over time. He does sound like he's a little kinky, though. Joey Badass, go ahead, Chris.
Great verse. I like how Joey is...
wants a powerful lady to ride or die with.
I like how he took the verse and instead of kind of giving himself to this woman and like expressing how vulnerable he is, he's like This is what I need. This is my perfect woman. I need a bitch with elegance, a bitch with etiquette, a ride or die bitch, the one who I can get cheddar with.
Yeah.
Is you down for whatever? Would you hold a Beretta? If it came down to some Fed shit, would you tell him?
It's not that fucking great. It's just like, it's not like super insightful from the writing perspective. Like, it's definitely not worthy of the GOAT claims that Joey gives himself on this album. But it is cool that it's like he's looking for a peer and a partner as opposed to a random hoe to perform 69ing with.
Which I actually prefer, and I actually prefer Joey's verse on this track. Meechy does a really great job.
Meechy's verse is the best.
Nyck,
I could live without it.
right, and I find Joey and Meechy are the two verses on this
Allow
song.
me to say that Erick is the real star along with Meechy. I'm sorry, but Erick's little bridge thing is fucking like one of the best parts of this song.
Erick does a very good job. Overall, I did give this song a 4.2 though.
I give it a 4.25. Of everything we've heard, this is the worst of the four because, I mean, it's a pseudo girl song that doesn't really know 100% what it's trying to be. But if you look at it from the point of view of all the dudes being them on it, I respect it.
Right.
Still, I much prefer snow in the stadium. That could happen at the Olympic Stadium in Montreal because the roof comes off, and then in theory in the winter it could snow. And with our lovely city, I mean, fuck. You know what? It could just be broken because, anyway, snow in the stadium.
That's what it meant.
The wickedness, they told us that we would check.
So what's really distinct about this song is everybody adopts a Caribbean accent with the exception of, I guess, the one guy who maybe just couldn't do it very well, so he didn't really adopt one. Can you tell who I'm speaking about?
No.
Joey. Joey doesn't really do the accent thing quite as well as everybody else on this song. But like literally everybody else.
This song's amazing, and this song's amazing.
No, and it really is. Like the beats kind of got this more Caribbean infused sound to it, and lyrically, like this is one of the strongest ones in my opinion. Like
This just matches every single song I've been listening to outside of the podcast. I've been on like that whole like Jamaican and that whole music genre for the last like 3 weeks now.
But yeah, I love the chorus from Erick. No goals for the weakness. They told us we reject, yeah, but with time we will defeat the best because the sky is never limited, yeah. And when you really think about the vision of these dudes and they're all on the rise and shit, I feel it. I want to rally behind them with this. And then Joey comes in. Okay, I'm mobbing with my partner, Dim. You know, I ride with one. Always shook my time will come. He shook, he got Parkinson's. I don't 100% know what the fuck he's talking about, I'll be honest with you. But he overall sounds dope in the way that he's spitting it, and it's proper. I didn't realize at this point that everybody else was going to be super Caribbean sounding. Maybe I'm coming off rude or something, and he was really trying. I just didn't hear it so much. I appreciated this is my 47th blunt, which is a little bit of a shout out to Mr. Capital Steez, so respect, and I could appreciate that shit. And overall, like it was a solid verse. It really flowed, you know, kind of reminiscent of the past, how powerful they're becoming now. That's cool. Then the homeboy Meechy comes in with verse 2. He gets high off life, but they won't let him be. Weapon on his side. But unlike that motherfucker who shot the sheriff, this dude did shoot the deputy. He let you know. Drink up all night, preferably Hennessy. Pass my light, the weed will set you free. Puff, puff, then fly. Move like a refugee. It's just so nice sounding to me. I really like the last line. Rasta teach I, then teach I everything. You know, like them teach I everything. It just sounds great the way he's putting it in. And how you kind of get the sense that these are guys who have had knowledge passed to them and are now ready to move that knowledge and shit along to the next generation of people. Kirk, unlike the last song, sounds absolutely motherfucking dope and shit, and just flows in. And I kind of like, I feel like when he goes like, how the fuck you telling us who the mole is us? Like, don't you see that same you pulling up in Porsches, vroom vroom, had to cop the Benzo just to show up? It sounds like he's kind of like talking to people who tell them all about how they need to do a certain thing, but then floss.
Wait, hold on. Who's the artist again?
We're talking about Kirk Knight.
Okay, wait. I actually want to say something on that because I think there's a typo. Cause like don't no, hold on. Like, how the fuck you telling you the mole is us? I don't think it's you. I think it's youth. Tell that youth. because like that's what they say when they're speaking about younger people. Yo, I got my ute with me. I got my this. I got my that. So I think he's saying how I look around, ain't nobody to confide in. Like, how the fuck you telling you the mole is us? Like, how you telling this younger guy that we're the mole and you're the one snitching? And then like don't you see the same ute pulling up in Porsches? So the same young dude you're snitching on is the one rolling up into big things and all this stuff. I think there was a typo. I had to get that out there. Sorry.
Fair enough. And then you just had to, I don't know, all these he had to buy a Benz to show off all the accolades and platinums on the wall. Got to keep the heat with you, big boss dog. Overdosing, mixing my emotions, not enough. And you just get this, like, I don't know, this weird love-hate vibe from that in terms of where he's at with life, where it's a narcoleptic with no days off. That must be a stressful experience. But still, I enjoy the overall power of this. CJ Fly's verse is dope. Issa Gold's verse is dope. I mean,
CJ Fly's verse. Rude boy advocates some fire upon this rhythm to inspire all the children. Plus, I do this shit for all my in the hood that's trying to stack it to the ceiling. Hustling till they make a million. Snakes, they blend in like chameleons.
There's been too much police killings. They don't care about our feelings.
Hey, that was fire.
But it's interesting, right? Because there is this like idea, like I said before, where they want to see people growing. They want to see the status quo changing. And they want to be successful, to be that role model and to set a blueprint for other people to cop it through. I love when he goes, see, they never had a chance at winning like his sweepstakes. Got freedom of speech, but they don't really care what we say. We care what you say, but I understand your bigger point, how like generally, like what is the value of a freedom of speech? Like just look at the abortion law situations going on. Like what's the value of a freedom of speech if the people in charge are going to do what the fuck they want no matter what, you know? I cry my tears, even my heart cries, but who cares? That's well done, Issa Gold. Life is full of choices you can't regret. Wake me up, call me, have to watch each step, de-stress. It just sounds proper, like all of these guys flowing this honest emotional expression over like their own success almost, but like this well-earned success that came from it while looking at the criticisms that they're getting versus how to inspire other people. I don't know. Overall, I thought this song was pretty dope. I gave him another 4.5. I thought it was proper. It was really enjoyable.
This song landed at the highest grade, 4.8. I fucking love this song.
It is a really cool song.
It is really great. And I think part of me is a little bit biased just because like that is the sound that I'm listening to now. I've tried to go into like other genres of rap in other countries and try to like see other new things and, you know, just broaden my aspect of hip hop. I really bumped this track super heavy.
All right, well, why don't we move on and talk about how the Rubberband man will always bounce back because rubber snaps back into place, motherfuckers.
Click clack, nobody say look like that shit, and my verses be like rap.
Meechy does it again. He takes the common phrase, you're going after the bag, and he goes, fuck that, a bag is not enough. I'm going for this safe. Click clack, nobody safe. Bars. It really just... I like that though because it shows bigger ambition than the average pleb. It's like chess isn't the most complicated game. So sure you can play chess and that's cool. But if you really want to impress, learn to play Go. It's just more impressive than chess.
Go?
Yeah, it's a Chinese game that makes chess look like amateur shit.
Is that the different triangles, different colors, and you have different things? Okay, I played that.
Maybe. Either way, it's very complicated. I remember looking at the rules one time and the amount of strategy that went into it in the computers, and like the computer beat a human, and it's big news bears, but it's bigger than chess. So anyway, I found that the chorus of this song, when it kicks in with Zombie Juice doing this like almost haunting sound to it again, like it's just so unexpected. But it works. It just juxtaposes what you're supposed to do with this chorus while saying the same kind of shit. But like over this beat, it's just eerie and creepy and it's fucking cool.
Personally, I think that this is the Flatbush Zombies song featuring Joey.
It really is.
Like
it really is.
So this
so
everything is just screaming Flatbush, and I like how Joey actually kind of took on their style and tried to be one of them. That was cool.
I mean, overall, the verses are just fun to listen to. Joey does say that he's criminally underrated, to which I agree with. Top 5, nah, more like the fucking greatest. Can't compare me to nobody. Of course I could compare you to people. There's so many dudes that I don't on the spot can't do it. But like, I think Joey Badass is an extremely talented guy. I don't think he's the pioneer of a style. He's just a really talented guy in the backpacker lyrical genre that has a cool style.
So the only thing I'm gonna say, because I like my little brother would sit here and argue with you about that, but I think we have to review. It's a fucking year. He has an album that's an actual year, and I can't remember the name. And I think like a lot of people are like would advocate that is what is like. He kind of goes with the pioneering of the sound. Like that album apparently is like what changed and really got him to be there.
Okay, but we did All American Badass and this shit, and neither of these albums were like.
I'm just saying. I think maybe
I'm not trying to be a dick because I know how it goes. Well, you don't know what's up, but like, all I'm saying is, there's a lot of guys like 20 years before Joey Badass that were kind of doing the same sort of thing.
Right.
And Joey Badass is like, I would say he's like a modern reincarnation of
Right.
like this core old school sound that's really dope. But to imply he's doing it over the new school kind of beats or something, like I don't know. He's an amazing rapper. His flow and technique are absolutely stellar. To say he's the fucking greatest and they can't compare him to nobody, get slow bodied, the flow got it, they speak on the kid so highly, how the fuck this, doubt me. Well, because you're saying shit like you're the greatest, which is a little bit pushing it. You're great, you're achieving, you're doing wonderful shit. I approve of that stuff. But to say that he's like the literal best, you know, he's gonna go cash a check and then cash a body, then go kill a rapper and then rap about it. I mean, whose career is Joey Badass ending? In a rap sense. If that guy went at somebody, whose career is over?
I don't know.
Nobody. Because Eminem can't end a career. So how the fuck are you going to end a career, Joey Badass? Nobody's career is ended by anybody going at anybody, okay? People's careers get ended when they fuck with managers and the business people behind the scenes. Not when the rappers rap at each other. That's when everybody makes fucking money, okay? I digress. Or he's gonna literally kill somebody? Come on. You know, like, that's fine. It sounds hype. But I have to say, compared to everybody else on this project, Joey sounds like he's a little bit cocky.
Fair.
Whereas everyone else sounds like they a little more squad. Now, I do believe Joey is commander and chief. Like, of all the guys, Joey is the highest statured of, like, if we were to give a social score. But I mean, he's kind of implying he's better than everybody when, like, there's like 30 years worth of rappers rapping right now.
Fair enough.
That's all I'm trying to say is rappers need to stop claiming to be the best when they haven't proven it in any metric possible. Feel free to dislike the video if you think I'm like whatever. I'm okay with that. But like,
At least explain why you're disliking.
no, I mean,
and,
like, tell me how Joey has done something, and then I'll go find maybe somebody from '93 that did it, and then be like, he can't say that he can't be compared to nobody because that's what he said, and I'm saying that's the part that I don't like, and I'm pretty sure, you know, like, everybody can be compared to everybody because nobody invented this shit. Unless you back in the late 70s, how are you claiming to be the pioneers that can't, like, everybody's compared against the pioneers of the older days. That's
Right.
just respect to history.
Right.
However, the rest of Flatbush is behind him, and they are all elite. So even when he goes, how the whole team elite? How, bitch? Don't act like you don't know. I gotta get to the dough. That isn't explaining how at all, Joey, but I do agree that the team is super elite. And I can understand how they're going for the dough.
Right.
But weirdly enough, rapping about how you're going for the dough is very easy to compare you to, like, every other rapper. Like, super easy.
I mean, yes.
Rapping about how you got a squad behind you and how the whole team is good. Very easy to compare that to, like, everybody. Wait, cashing a check and Drake did that shit on fucking that song Sicko Mode. Basically saying the same shit. You rapping about shit like Drake, dude. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but that top level, like, boss shit, okay. Like, it's fine.
Fair.
However, you want to talk about some creative shit? Meechy. I really hope you get everything you're praying for.
Yep.
Even if that thing you're praying for my downfall. Amen. Hallelujah. I'd say I'm number one. You say delusional. And again, like a drug trip, and he snaps out of it like that verse where he was having sex. Woke up like, fuck that humble shit. I'm on my rumble shit. Winners talk about winning, losers talk about other shit. Do I believe these guys are winners? Yes.
There's some real knowledge really
The
dropping.
best that can't be compared to other people, stretching it. Well, like winners talk about winners, losers talk about other shit. I love that line because he's right. Winners do have a way of speaking. You never get what you deserve, just what you negotiate. Spit in truth. All of that shit. So I have zero criticisms about Meechy's verse. It's actually really fucking proper,
Meechy's
boss
verse
ass
is
shit.
fucking solid.
Zombies chorus is dope. Zombies verse is dope. I'm a little bit different. See, my visual delivery is spiritual. I'm not who you want me to be. Meanwhile, the whole rhythm is kind of erratic and fucking dope. You know, it's actually just good. Megan Thee Stallion is fine as fuck, so I appreciate that line of referencing her as well. Overall, super great. Erick, another one. Just another good verse, you know? Spend some time on the road. Think it's time I came back home. Hoard that money like a cog. Got into the jungle. Holy shit, he saves money and doesn't just waste it. Anyway, just puts on the situation. Humble flex to get crazy vibes. So when I'm stressed, I know they ain't surprised. I digress. You have three guys talking about how they're making money and they're winning and they're in a good place. And one dude saying he's the greatest of all time. Throwing it out there. I like this song though. I might take some criticisms. I'm okay with that. 4.5 though is very enjoyable. I just don't like it when rappers try to claim they're the best of shit. It's just mathematically and statistically unlikely. 4.5.
I am super happy you had a lot to say. For me, I like everybody's verse. I like the song, but it's kind of just making money, and this is what we're doing, and this is how we've gotten to this part. I really enjoy the Meechy verse. Everything he says, I agree with Holden. It's presented well. He's dropping knowledge. He's teaching you. He's kind of giving you some insight on what you should be knowing and how you should be moving. So that's really, really cool. Joey's verse, I like Joey. I like what he's doing. I like what where he's coming from. I like how he's presenting his bars. I like his voice. But I do agree that it's kind of hard to claim that you're like the top notch when Meechy's right under you, and then Erick Elliott is like at the end of the verse, and Zombies there too. So it's like, I agree with Holden. There isn't this affiliation of squad on this track. This is kind of just everybody's trying. I think. Oh no,
here's my thing: is that the Zombies
or the squad and Joey's.
No, it's not
being
even
like,
about the squad versus not. It's that there's nothing the Zombies saying at a grammatical level or at an ego level comes off so easily arguable as what Joey's saying at a point of view. Like, it would be like me saying I review the most albums on the internet. Well, that's not true. Anthony Fantano's beating me. So it's like when there's ways that can be easily proving shit. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I know there are people who think Joey Badass is the greatest, and there are a really small minority of people who think he is literally the absolute greatest. I mean, think about it. We're talking of all time. Every rapper ever. All of them better than DMX.
But I think that comes down to a conversation.
More distinct than DMX.
I think that's a conversation of like, how do you consider GOAT now? Like, do you question like the test of time? Like, are we really gonna be like 38 albums that are produced or 38 projects from one person is all just washed away because Joey came out?
I mean, first of all, I don't think anybody who dropped 38 projects is even in the GOAT conversation except Wayne. Because most of the time people who drop 38 projects are going over, they're just trying to release as much as possible knowing that certain songs will hit rather than making well-founded projects. I guess my point is to go ahead and say that you're the best ever is a really bold claim when honestly on the album you might be one of the weakest dudes, in my opinion. Joey's might be the weakest guy of all the dudes on all of the songs. Even with the exception of maybe the left-hand song where he's pretty tight and everybody's pretty equal, but I don't know. Maybe I don't want to like be negative about it. I really admire his rapping prowess and skill. It's that ego shit I'm not feeling. because it's basically the same bullshit that you would criticize trappers for.
I see that. In verse 3, Zombie Juice, I like how he went, I love me a diva, none the concealer, might vacuum the seal if I need it. We looking defeated, nah, I'm walking like Jesus. We at the Nobu Machihisha. Zombie, the logo, test us a no-no. I like how he did that, the way he carried it, the way he kind of chopped it up. That was really, really cool. It's really showing diversity. And what I'm liking about the project, about the entirety of the project so far, is that every song, like another artist or somebody else does a different type of presentation. And it's really, really nice that, like, if you really wanted to see what everybody can do, you're kind of forced to listen to the entire album at this point, because I feel like some people are like, yeah, okay, your verse was good on this track, but on this one it's fucking even better, and then you kind of have to bounce around and go check out everybody so you can kind of see.
Just to follow that up, I would like to point out that I feel like they were going for making every single song on this album kind of distinct in style a little bit. So with that said, everybody's doing different shit on each song. It's not like everybody's being consistent, right? Mm-hmm. So I want to give props to that. It was anyway. What'd you give this one again?
Overall, I did give the song a 4.5.
All right, why don't we move on then as we continue through this album, Going the Distance. How do you feel about this one?
This slightly felt like a B-side track. I don't know. It was good. It had this type of like connection to it. It felt like everybody is just on this positive wave. The beat's got this uppity feel. It's got this positive energy to it. It's kind of softer. It doesn't have this like dark, eerie sounding to it. So it's a different feel. But I didn't really understand what anybody was really saying, besides it kind of just seemed generic.
Joey Badass is quite powerful. If you come at him, he has the strength and his potential is unlocked that he's going to go Super Saiyan on your motherfucking ass. Hit him on today, deceased. Lord have mercy on all my enemies. I know I may get it by any means. No, I won't pull that ain't copping, no please. Pull my dick out and she drop on her knees. Very comparable to other rappers, but very hype nonetheless. I actually really enjoyed Joey's verse. Still
generic.
Comparable to other people, and I would include Migos in the lyrical content who I would compare that to. So I know that's fighting words to Joey here because it might sound like I'm starting with him. I'm just quoting him, but I just call it how I see it. Look, you want to say generic sounding shit, I'll call it out. A lot of this album takes on very trap rap themes in terms of the wealth acquisition and the flossiness. However, it's very talented in lyrical versions of that, kind of like the 90s, because basically hip-hop has always had this kind of shit going on in it.
Right.
And what I like about them is you can tell that they're guys who came from a certain place and achieved this shit after the grind and perseverance, which is truly dope. I like how he shouts out the 47 again in the chorus. Everywhere I go, we 47 deep, meaning like deep in their heart and soul. Yep. They keep capital Steez on their mind, which is big respect to their fallen comrade. Issa Gold makes a kind of corny ass start here. She trying to fuck, make her lock her knees. How's that work? Like, how do your knees lock? I guess you're on them for so long they lock into place because she's sucking you for so long. Or is it from like a doggy style and you're making her go back and forth a bunch so her knees lock? I didn't get that. Can't hear you talk. I speak Guapanese.
Oh, maybe, well, like, if you make her orgasm and her leg is shaking, I mean, I could see how she can't really move her leg, and he's just kind of, like, using the knees to just, like, Guapanese in the rhyme.
Guapanese is a weird thing to say.
Well, guap is money. So he's not, like...
I get it. He's trying to say I speak money, but Guapanese is such an awkward thing to hear in a song. It's not hype. It's not that cool. It's just... Rapping the work, I'm a cop a key. Smoke out the V, trying to dodge police.
Oh, a key as in, huh?
Look, it's all fine. It's just, Okay.
It's just, honestly, it just really seems generic. I don't actually have much to say because it's not a bad song. It's just it's short. It's like what, 2 minutes and something. It kind of just blends together for me. As much as like they all have different, they're very distinct in the sounds and the voice and stuff. But it just
I would
feel
say
like
Erick though is fresh to me.
fair enough. There
Need
is
more
something.
than 20 at least. Crew from the slum, now we repping the beast. Ras not started from the bottom, now I'm here. She got the case on taking a piece. Okay, that could be like the money. That could be like the beautiful vagina. Make no mistake, I get play when I preach. So when he spits that rhymes and shit, the ladies want to give it to him. This is actually pretty fly. Walk like a G, I put teams in the gang. I build up my squad. Blessing the karma, they build up my name. So unlike the other two verses, it's really proactive. And again, like kind of more on that, like, I'm over there, now I'm over here. Too many rappers and not enough painters. Frida or Dali, my palette like the Monet. That's a way of saying that too many rappers are rapping some kind of almost generic shit. Allow me to
That's the
quote.
line I wanted to quote.
Sorry, allow me to quote. She trying to fuck, make her lock her knees is a good example, or pull my dick out and she drop on her knees is another example. However, to imply that there aren't artists in this game quite the same, and I would say Flatbush Zombies absolutely one of my favorite artists right now, so that's why I'm kind of feeling it. I don't know, man, this whole song does feel a bit like a B-side to me compared to some of the other shit we did, but it's also a slightly different stylistic approach. So there's probably somebody else right now going, what the fuck are they talking about? The other shit they was liking is kind of whack to me, and this is the hype shit. And on that front, I'm impressed at their versatility, but I still gave it a 4.25. I wish they had done this with a lot fresher content. Like, I really wish the bars sounded original.
Personally,
The first two verses, because I actually really do like Erick's verse. I think Erick's verse holds its own, and it's as good as anything else on this album.
I gave it a 4. It's really, it's a good song. They all do what they have to do. It sounds nice. I just think that it kind of blends together I'm not in a weird bad way. It was just weird. Like I played this song and it kind of just started and then it ended and then it started and then it ended again, and I just didn't really kind of intensely get into it. So it's a 4 on 5. It's a good song.
Yeah, and then it immediately ends, and then immediately Zombie Juice's Hook on Bone starts. That is the best chorus on the motherfucking album.
That's
it
like
just
mumble
sounds,
rap to a
it
next
just
level.
sounds so fucking good. Got from my bones and my chakras. I smoke a lot. Hold my ground from my bones and my chakras. I don't know. It just sounds fucking dope.
Like,
I smoke pounds on my all around with the choppers.
It's
We
like
got the choppers.
he cuts, like he shaves off the last part of like the words.
I know, but it
and
just
he
sounds so fresh.
Goes into this, like,
it
this,
just
like,
sounds so fresh. And then they smoke a lot, and choppers and weed do have something in common. They get loud. Oh, pun, dope shit. Anyway, I really like Issa Gold's verse. It's one of my favorites on the album. Who in had 2 zips with me. Kind of irrelevant to the rest of the verse, to my knowledge. Get Rich, Die Trying, bump 0350, because that's when 50 Cent dropped Get Rich, Die Trying. My own coast, no Cardi, die Liddy. I'm trying to get the fetty, so I died like Diddy. Love cornrows on a chick like Nelly. No 6ix9ine,
Right.
never snitch on the celly. And he's just kind of shouting out little rap situations. It's like a little bit of like Tombstone off of that fucking Vacation in Hell album. Just like a little bit there.
Yep.
And then, dropping the theme of rappers, he takes on Jim Carrey as Bruce Almighty. Keep the power strap with me. Alright, we switched themes real quick, but sort of kept it proper. Anyway, Zombie Juice comes in with the next verse, and I enjoyed it. If that bitch do love me, then she would die for me. OG dash in the cut with his stroke is scummy, and that's rassing the blunts trying to get high with me. If we talking this church, she shouldn't get right with me. I just thought it sounded great the way he said it. I can't say I have a lot of critical analysis of his verse. It just sounded good, and sometimes that's all you really need. The same thing with Nyck Caution. It just sounded great to me. It's proper. It's good. Nobody here is talking about being the greatest of all time. Nobody's saying arrogant, pretentious shit that I can't get behind. It's all proper. See, he's authentic as it gets. Talk about me better, pay me my respect. Thanks for making it easy, Nick. I'm giving you respect, dog. Erick the Architect, of course he's killing it. Gotta boost it. I produce, now I lose it. God know we not stupid, we invest in our students. Again, culture elevating type shit. Just amazing, wonderful stuff. I really enjoy it. Then you got that ridiculous chorus again. Have I pointed out how ridiculous it is? It is super fucking ridiculous. Kirk Knight sounds proper. I love the fact that off of like this independent shit, he doesn't need an advance. They got enough money to just do it on their own and just kill it and just run it because, you know, the Zombies said he Better Off Dead, which is an album we're probably going to review because Flatbush Zombies had that tape, Better Off Dead. Then who comes through? The homeboy Meechy.
I honestly think Meechy has like the solidest verse on the track.
He does.
Then the second solidest verse is AK, and then the rest just pick and choose whatever you want.
But they're all great.
They are.
Meechy's is a little bit better. Meechy's is fantastic.
Verse 6 and 7, I like how they're back to
like,
back.
Now I fuck her like I love her, but I ain't her baby daddy. I'm numb, no feelings. Might kill these, carpilities, blood spillities. Red think I'm ungrateful. Damn, you're hateful, crazy. Thought I was the one they can relate to.
Clearly, she's not, you know, the pussy might not be that good if he's not trying to be the baby daddy.
Well, he's also maybe not on acid at this
Maybe he's sober.
That's it. Like maybe he's a little more clear because he's on tour somewhere where he can't get the acid.
I like the way he carried his verse. And I think
knowledge
that
plus understanding equals wisdom. Your third eye blind and folks out to get me, Lord. That's how you end a verse, showing that you really are about that intelligent shit that I believed. I believed in the Flatbush Zombies, and they delivered.
Nice.
And then, yes, you can talk about Act the Savior, I guess. That's what you want to do.
No, I don't have much to say. I'm very biased. I'm going to quote the whole verse.
Nefertiti on a dick, she a scholar. That might be one of the best lines in the whole
that's
song.
A fire line. But I really like this whole verse. And I think the reason why I like both verse 6 and 7, which is Meechy Darko and AK the Savior, is because they're the longest ones. I don't know. Like, I like the shorter verses, but I feel like for me, they get blended because they're short, and when you have the longer one, I get that more of distinct voice of who I'm listening to, and I guess that's just me as a listener or whatnot, but that's kind of why I like verse 6 and 7 more. It's just they're longer, they kind of said more a little bit, but overall the song itself, I think I'm missing.
Need a rest, bitch. You see the exit. Zombie juice here.
Yep.
We don't set trip. You get the message. Kicking game like my name is Messi, because Messi's a soccer player, so he kicks game.
Yep.
Sun through the rain, life, it ain't easy. We do it proper. We keep our shit there. We are loyal. We grind through hard times. Beautiful shit. Hold my ground to the bones of my chakras. It's so fucking good. This song's a 4.5. I feel like we 4.6. It's better than the ones I was giving 4.5 to, but not that much better. It's very flossy, very engaging beat, very engaging energy. I feel like we picked right back up to the dope shit. What'd you give it?
I gave it a 4.3. I thought it was good. I do like how they're being kind of true to themselves and kind of sticking to like the ground movements of where they came from. And it's nice how it's really cool to see. And more in this track though, there is more of like a squad feel, and it's like they're all kind of like every verse, give or take which one you want to like or not, they all do connect together in a way which I really enjoyed. So I like the song.
All right. So on that note, we can talk about Eminem's beautiful track off the song Encore. You don't know.
I think you got the wrong album.
Puke? Puke's the next song?
Yeah, I know Puke's the next song, but I think you have the wrong album.
Shit.
My lifestyle, I turn my mind the best since that nigga from best.
How do you feel about Puke by Eminem? I'm sorry. Okay, I'm done with it. I'm done with it. No, it's not. It's trash. What do you think about this Puke though? That's not trash. This Beast Coast song.
I thought it was cool. Verse 1, we got Nyck Caution, and I feel like he's kind of breaking down like some past experiences. Yeah, broke a day. I used to be broken sin, a bad kid by the age of 10. Nowadays I don't pretend. Circle real tight. I don't trust broken men. Thought that you was solid, but it won't cement. Cut ties with those guys. Haven't spoken to them. Y'all tried to play me like a fool, but the joke's on them. It kind of feels like we're gonna get into this. We're getting into this like this is where we've been through. This is kind of like how I've kind of gone through my struggle. But I also feel like in regards to the title, these things make these people sick. So in terms of like, he can't work with broken men. Like, he can't trust broken men. Like, that makes him sick to be working with somebody. It's a weird feeling when you can't trust that person or whatnot. Thought that you was solid, but it won't cement. I thought I could trust you, but clearly I can't. You know, y'all tried to play me like a fool, but I'm the one who's famous. Like, I'm the one who's popping out making money. So it really kind of looks like there's this, like, you said this, but this is what I proved you wrong type of mentality in that verse 1. Verse 2, we got Erick, and he was pretty cool. I like how we started off with the "What you mean, you squeamish? Just a monster and entendre. A league competition with no team could beat us. I cut them ties because I need to see us. I earn my stripes like I need Adidas." That was some cool wordplay. The striped Adidas, those are dope. But I like how he's kind of questioning, like, why are you afraid of this? Like, why are you afraid of what we can do? What we're accomplishing? Like, why is that making you sick? Why are you jealous? Why are you hating on us? He's kind of taking that like Puke feel and turning it into like people are puking because they are envious. They are jealous of what these guys can do, which I felt really, really cool. You want to talk about Meechy?
Meechy's fucking dope. He's the best verse on the album, the fucking song, like every other song that he's on. Meechy wins. But he's cool. Like, it just flows on through. I like how he kind of quotes some Biggie. I grew up a fucking screw up. You sick, I'm lit. Whole world been on acid since I blew up.
That's funny.
Kind of like, I'm on acid. I brought the world to this point of acid. My high music sounds of elevated jaw. And it's fucking good. I just feel like he's got a proper verse. Hellraiser, but he's 7 cent pearly gates. He's on the fence. Hellraiser. You know, it's just got a cool contradictory flow that I don't feel like it's the most profound thing he said. But the way he delivers his verses, I find great. But Act the Savior does a Rick and Morty line, and I wanted to steal that from Chris because I knew he was so excited to talk about it. Hop out the portal like Morty.
No, you can't do that. AK Young Majesty, thinking you're immortal, come face the fatality. Hop out the portal like Morty. I take the last shot like I'm Hori?
Yeah, so you don't know who that is, so you can't really tell me that that's the dopest shit you ever heard because you don't know.
No, because I was continuing the whole thing. His whole verse is dope.
I know.
I like how he presented.
But I'm
that.
saying the Morty line, it's dope. It's just these are kind of like in general he's dope. Like he's gonna sneak up on you like a Morty ninja, and then his head's wrapped like Ryu, which is a Street Fighter character.
Yes, I know who Ryu
And don't
is.
fuck with the boy because Ryu can do some shit like Haryuken and shoot a fucking. It's more of an Haryuken, isn't it?
Well, it's the same fucking movement.
I puff till I'm idle. It means he smokes a copious amount of marijuana till he can't move. Now each time I fuck, each bitch I fuck wanna cuff in a title. So the girls that he has sex with wanna date him and court him.
Yep.
Until volcano erupts. I'm a liar, get lost in the fire. So he lies to them and etc.
That's what he has to do.
Let's go through Joey. Chris, go for it.
Joey's verse was pretty cool.
You know what? Joey proved he's fucking dope on this one.
I heard them throwing shots again. You bitch ass people, lot of gossiping, big ballin', got a lot to spend. I don't even keep score, bitch. I got the win. Like he's still maintaining that.
Hold
like
on. I know that I can compare They Need Me Like Oxygen because he's not the first rapper to use that, and it sounds like he bit the line. So don't say shit like you can't be compared to people if you're gonna say shit like They Need Me Like Oxygen.
On me, the whole block depend.
Yes, other rappers have said that shit too. Waka Flocka Flame is a rapper who has made the claim that the block depends on him. I'm sorry. I know I'm being a little bit of a shit.
I watched the Jim Jones interview for Drink Champs, and I mean, he's claimed to like running his block.
So look, what I'm trying to do here is say
Crenshaw.
what you say in a rap song should matter, and if you make a claim, you should be held to it. Otherwise, it's fucking dope. Faded off a shot of gin and pack it, after the box him out line. I hear the money calling like a pocket dial. I know I've heard that exact line before from other people. Okay, like I've heard these lyrics from other rappers almost verbatim before. The way he raps it is actually really dope, and he proves it all. And so I'm going to pretend for the rest of the review that he didn't make that line about comparing him to people and just say that this is fucking dope and proper.
What I really think Joey did a good job on, though, was the outro. Looking out the window, bitch, I'm hella faded, trying not to crash the benzo. Puking out the window, she says she don't dance.
I guess he might not be driving drunk. He might be in the passenger seat puking out the fucking window of a car. That's not cool.
She says she don't dance, but she shake it for these bands. Though. Can I live a little bit? I think I think he's driving. Bitch, I'm hella faded trying not to crash the benzo. He's driving.
So he's advocating drinking and fucking driving and
Yes,
expects me
he's looking out the window. He's hella
And
faded,
he's
telling
puking.
her to watch the fuck
And
out
he's
because she's the
puking.
one twerking in the passenger.
So let me understand this correctly. He's fucking drinking.
No,
and
I don't
driving?
think it's him. I don't think he's drinking and driving, but I don't think he's puking. I think puking out the window. She says she don't dance.
Who cares who's
but
puking?
whatever.
It sounds to me like he's fucking driving drunk. Blah. Oh, hey, baby. This is not a cool look, Joey.
But can I live a little bit? Hey, can I live a little bit?
No, you're a grown-ass
Can I
man.
drink a little bit?
I'm
Hey,
sorry,
drink
but
a
if
little
you want to
bit?
be drinking and driving...
Smoking a little bit? Hey,
Look,
smoking
dude,
a little bit?
I have waited till 6 in the morning, 12 hours of sobering... No, 6 hours of sobering up at parties just to make sure I didn't drive drunk. I'm one of the few that don't do that shit. I'm just saying, it's not cool to me. It's not good shit, Joey.
Proud of you.
Joey, you're a role model, and you know you're a fucking role model because I reviewed American Badass or All American Badass or whichever one we did there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So come on, dude. Anyway, that's fine. I mean, now that I think about it, I'm sad that Joey did that. 4.35 for the song, but I'm sad that Joey's gonna advocate drinking and driving like that. You know who else did that? A lot of other fucking rappers. Okay, go on, Chris.
The album was called All American Badass.
Which is...
Quick side note, they released Escape from New York on Joey's Spotify as well.
They released it on Flatbush Zombies as well because the main artists are the Underachievers, Flatbush Zombies, and this, and then all the featured people are the other people that are not in that group.
Nice. I didn't actually know that. That's pretty cool.
Which is weird why sometimes Meechy shows up as a rapper featured and sometimes he doesn't on Spotify.
Right.
Same thing with Erick.
Overall, I like the song. I thought it was pretty interesting. It was pretty cool. I like how they're using these like different situations to kind of insinuate that like these things make them sick and that they make them feel certain ways or whatnot, and it's not good. So overall, I did land the song at a 4.2.
All right. Well, outside of the bad drinking and driving bullshit, the song was okay. Let's talk about Desperado or Despacito.
Wrong track.
This one's like a slower, laid-back flow compared to some of the other previous ones. Do you know what the best part of the song is? It's the fucking hook. Desperado loading hollows, Desperado loading hollows. Headshots to all my rivals, never ever ever had a fucking idol. Woof! Meechy's killing it right there, you know? Like, we coming in like these old West gangster types on them horses. They got the horse stock in the back. They got the horses in the back and the horse stock is attached into something matted black. And, you know, can't nobody tell me nothing and shit. I know, I'm just rolling with it. I really like that headshot. I know that was a very different song. I just really like that Lil Nas X track because it's fucking fun.
Old Town Road.
Yeah. Headshots to all my rivals, never ever had a fucking idol. I like that. Like, I wasn't looking up to people. I was establishing shit, you know? People are fake. People follow on the paper chase. Look like I hit the lotto. When the money come close, I can't help it. Count it. Kick a comma. Somebody call my accountant. Again, none of that's distinct and original, but the way they do it sounds fucking fly, and I really enjoyed that. Joey's fucking sounding cool here.
Something Joey said that I really, really liked was, people try and fuck with the pro. I ain't ever read no Bible. Wish I never met my idols. Meet them and they all turn rivals. And that really kind of stuck to me because that's something I think about in terms of the career I've chosen to do. It's like I idolize a fuck ton of these rappers and I am inspired by a fuck ton of these rappers. And even though I'm not like, you know, the biggest thing or whatever it is, but I do kind of think like if I continue going on this track and I keep pushing and stuff like that, there might actually come a day that I'm going to be in the same room as somebody I fucking idolize. And then I'm like, now I have to beat you. And
or more to the point, it might turn out that they are not as real as you. You walk in and that motherfucker turns out to be a little bit fake. Or like you talk a certain talk about a way on a track and then you meet them in person and they just whack, you know, and then you realize I don't even like this person no more.
Fair enough.
And then because of the tenacity of your character, they become your rival because they jelly at you.
And that's something that really kind of stuck out to me because I think that I really related to that because I think about that even now. And I'm not, and again, like I said, I'm not like the biggest poppin' artist. hi, hello, podcast. But at the end of the day, it's like it's something that really is part of what we do as artists. Like you really got to kind of come to grips with at one point you might actually have to demolish your favorite rapper and prove that you're better than him, which I mean I guess is like a ambitious drive to have.
I mean, I don't know if I feel like maybe to a degree that he's kind of pointing out that he's demolished his favorite rapper, but I think it's more to the point that you put these people on a pedestal and when you meet them they turn out to be fake.
Absolutely, I do agree. Other than that, the unfortunately for me, this song kind of took a dip in terms of just the sound, in terms of just the vibe. Zombie did great. Zombie did a good job in terms of like, you know what it is, bitch, it's the GOAT. Don't play me no fool, rap is faux. The coast be the move, this summer ain't safe. I got no patience, these my sons. It's like the whole song I feel is just kind of like, we're one-man army. We don't really need anybody. We kind of just roll solo, and we do this on our own. As much as like, yeah, they are Beast Coast and they are a group. I feel like the individual verses are just kind of being like, this is who I am and this is how I move by myself.
I have a question. If Joey Badass is the number one and there's no question about it on the other song, how is Zombie Juice the GOAT? Do these guys not get that there can only be one like Highlander? So you can't be the greatest of all time if Joey, who said he's in front of you, because he said the zombies are behind him, thus implying that the zombies are like a little tier lower than this.
He meant that they're backing him up, like not really like, but
that's what he says.
Yeah.
So how the fuck is Zombie Juice the GOAT now? Don't play me no fool. Rap it is full. The coast beyond the moon. Well, how is he the GOAT? Just out of nowhere, no substantiation. I mean, his verse is tight, and he's in the Matrix, pull up to a spot in a spaceship. Like, that's not that hard, okay? You're not the GOAT with these lines. You're a dope rapper with these lines, an imaginative rapper. But the GOAT? Rappers gotta stop saying shit like that just out of nowhere, all willy-nilly. It takes away cool points, in my humble little opinion.
Can Jay-Z say it?
Jay-Z's a guy who can mention, I might be the GOAT. Yes.
Okay.
But you'll notice that the guys who are actually in the GOAT conversation, on the exception of a certain blonde-haired turned dark-haired with a beard individual that can't give up the fact that some of us aren't impressed with him rapping for 16-year-olds, happens to maybe be the only one calling out
Marshall?
himself. Yeah.
Okay.
Him and Logic seem to think they're GOATs. And I feel the same way as I do about this guy saying he's the GOAT. But if we have to pick between Eminem claiming he's a GOAT and Zombie Juice claiming he's a GOAT,
and Joey and Logic, come on, let's put it in a four-way.
the Eminem's probably winning that little battle. Anyway, that's fine. This song's okay. I really do find it just like a slower, fun vibe to get into. So I give it a 4.35 on 5.
Nice. As per my final grading on this track, it landed with a 4 on 5. It was overall a good track. It just, I feel like right now we took a dip in terms of just the energy and the vibe of the album.
Keeping it alive with versatility.
Yep, absolutely.
As we build off for one more round.
You my mini-me, and when I think I'm running low, you're all I need.
The fuck, Meechy? Why are you also drinking while you drive? Like, this shit isn't cool. Why are these fucking rappers bragging about committing criminal actions of fucking foolishness?
Break
People
brother HSR here.
motherfucking die because people drink and drive. Like, it's just abhorrent behavior. Stop
Right.
rapping about it like it's cool. And if that's how you live your life, y'all are loaded. Take the fucking Uber like Yellow Wolf did. Remember on Trunk Music 3, he took an Uber to the Hooters because he was smart enough to do that? Stop doing some dumbass shit like irresponsibly
Well, hold
drinking
on.
and driving.
Never mind, go on.
What part of it can you possibly tell me that kids hearing this aren't just going to hear that Meechy Darko thinks it's okay to drink and drive? Like, really think about what's being said, you know?
So, in a literal term, yes, I agree. I was just gonna play devil's advocate and be like, but he's solo driving. Like, he has nobody in the car with him.
What happens if a kid runs in front of the car?
I agree.
Or
what
happens if he crashes into a fucking tree and kills himself? Like,
I mean,
I know
like,
y'all
I
are
get
probably
it.
going, what the fuck? It's just a dope line. No, it's fucking reckless and irresponsible. And for
Because-
that, Meechy, I'm disappointed. Nothing about that verse is cool. It's just like I'm drinking to get numb and I feel faded and I got irresponsible and I drank too much and I now driving drunk to you.
after she said he should detox. Look,
Whole
I'm just
fucking
gonna get
thing.
my
That's
point.
not, it's not that good.
I'm gonna get my point out here. I don't like this song. It really bored me. Out of everything we've heard so far, this is the one track I don't need on the album.
And then we got the chorus where it's like, even though you don't want me or around, I'm going to harass you. I'm going to ignore your lack of consent in contacting me, and I will harass you in my vague sense of romanticized actions because I have power and influence. So I will ask you how you're doing because I don't want to lose you, even though you don't want me. It's like, come on. I understand that was cool romanticism, but then all this Me Too stuff happened and we all started supposed to be learning lessons about social awareness and consent and treating people with respect and shit. I know maybe you're like, Holden such an SJW fucking cuck who... No, it's just like respect, man. That's
What?
SJW cuck. A social justice warrior cuck, submissive beta ass bitch.
Holy fuck.
Come on, stay up to date with your jargon,
Oh,
man.
Jesus
How you
Christ.
supposed to be a rapper and not know jargon?
Look at this.
Anyway, so it's just kind of like, I get how it could come off, but to me it just sounds like it's not this like, conceptually this is an embarrassing song for grown ass men. I don't really know. Sometimes I think I feel stuck in my mind every time I keep my chill. Pour it out for the last ones. Okay, now we're back at it. Finally, we moved on. Nyck, you saved the fucking song and kept it proper. Nothing he says is kind of bad. Then Joey Badass comes in. Ain't got no time to waste. I got to save up. They've been plotting all my downfall, bitch. I got to stay up. I've been down so long, I found my way up. I've been living on cloud 9. Now I'm on my 8th cup. Okay. And then Meechy comes back and he's drinking while I swerve. I'm swerving. I'm zoning. Why again are we advocating drinking and driving? Like, it's not cool. I said that already. I don't think, but he said it twice in this song. It wasn't just like one time he brings up drinking and driving.
I think, okay, so clearly it seems like they're being these vulnerable, desperate men that are trying to get back into this.
Y'all are role models.
And I agree that
Kids
they're all role
listen to
models.
you.
So I think that...
Fuck out of here with that bullshit.
But again, I think that's not their fault.
Excuse me, how is it not Meechy's fault for writing a verse
Because-
about drinking and driving?
Because
Is Meechy not
I'm
a
listen-
grown man who's told us the whole album
I'm
how
going to
legit
explain
and
my
real
point.
it
I'm going to
is?
explain my theory. I'm not looking at it as Meechy saying he's drinking and driving. I'm looking at it as, or at least I'm interpreting it as he's expressing
So you're
what he's
ignoring what he's saying
No.
to focus on the other defense bullshit.
going to win this fucking.
You're not, because no matter how you argue it, could he not have just not said that?
I agree. I agree.
then that's the
100%
conversation.
that he didn't
Who cares
have to
about how
advocate it, and I'm not trying. And
So,
I'm trying to just say that I feel like he's just expressing his drunken.
Who the fuck
or
cares what he's
whatever,
trying
like-
to do? This is what he did.
I mean, yes, but hip hop and music is all about telling your stories and how you feel. So like,
So
he's
if
just
you were
expressing,
actually,
like-
if he's actually out there drinking and driving, he's a motherfucking asshole. Okay, flat out.
Fair.
And if he's faking it for the sake of this story,
I'm not saying he's faking it. I'm saying that this isn't.
Allow
like
me
a
to say
direct
another thing.
connection.
Just because you do some shit in your life does not mean you need to put it on wax. Weren't these same guys talking about being the best and not foolish? Right?
I mean, you're
Look,
picking
man,
this apart,
this
dude. Like,
whole album was really consistent, but then there's just look, I don't know how you can put out self-respecting as a person. Yeah, I'm drinking and driving on my way over to see you because I'm so desperate and I want to be with you. Glug, 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 glug. I'm so fucking cool.
glug, glug,
Weren't
glug,
y'all
glug.
calling yourselves goats and shit on the last song? I'm just so fucking
Did
confused.
you pick that apart?
Like, look, it's a fluid song. They are very drunk. They're rapping, sounding. There's a lot of drinky, kind of clinky, fucking noises and
This
shit
song is trash.
that go into it. I think sonically it's a very good experience that's on par with the quality of the rest of the album. But somebody has to say it's fucked up that these guys are advocating drinking and driving like it's cool. So it's a 4.25 for the quality of the song and the mixing and the excellent production and the rap flows being on point and the technique, because I'm an objective motherfucker. But like personally, I'm a little bit disappointed with Meechy.
Objectively, it's a 3.5. I know like nothing about this song. They
That's fine.
presented it well, but
That means you like something about the song.
fine. I'm gonna give them their.
You give it a
not
3.5.
It's a 3.5 because they're
All right.
talented, but
well,
I just don't like.
Let's
the song.
talk about a Slash song that's not a Slash song. Coast Clear. This is like modern pop. Like we do you realize this album started off with like next level fucking banger ass shit, in my opinion. And like I said, to a degree, they're flowing through genres and proving that they can do all sorts of stuff. But sonically,
This
I
kind of
mean,
took
gotta
a bit.
watch my back, my shit, cuz. And it's like, okay.
I can admire the creativity of wanting to sound poppy and like not as like heavy zombie rapping.
And I appreciate like gang round me, we like a force field, we be eating good, swear I must be on my fourth meal.
But this
Fourth
just
meal,
sounded
fourth meal, get it?
So generic.
Hold on, I looked up Joey Badass's net worth, because when he goes ballin' now, little bitch, I must be on my fourth mil, right? He is worth $5 million. That's legit. Good on you, Joey Badass, for not at least overinflating your net worth, which would have been
Can we call him a goat now, or
No. Just like literally dudes with 9 figures. If money's your metric, he's not even he's like a fish in the pond, but he's more of a guppy than a big fucking whale.
All right,
Didn't Tech 9 or like Macklemore dudes bank like 9 mil in like 1 year? Like, I'm just saying, goat, best, can't compare me. These are strong fucking words. And first class sipping on mimosas is some shit everybody says.
Yep.
Cartier got it reupholstered. When you making bread, you need a toaster. None of that sounded original to me. You know what else didn't sound original? Come on,
Just
Meechy.
fucked your girl. I should have posted it. Text me the Addy, then I floated there.
Super fucking generic shit.
Tongue out, Jordan. Open the lane.
Totally, whatever.
Thug it out. 40 with the scope
It's
and
fine.
beam.
Zombie juice is cool. Every time I wake up, gotta put one in the air. You know that I want it, baby. Bring that pussy here. Hop out, you can smell it in the air. Touchdown, every city, coast clear. Okay. It's alright. It's not like too over the top. Erick's fine. Same kind of shit. Issa Gold's dope. He's alright. Compared to everybody else, I like his verse. But still, it just feels like, is this the same album we were on?
I think my issue right now is the last track and this track have a different type of vibe to it.
Than like the whole album.
Right, like the whole album got this.
Because it almost seems like they're almost dissing dudes who come up with the vibe that they've now adopted at this part of the project in terms of down to what they're rapping about, almost like mimicking that style.
Which, I mean, I guess in a satire way.
But it doesn't sound like satire.
Right.
And to the people out there who believe in the term obvious for satire, it's only obvious if people can tell it's obvious. If people can't tell it's obvious, it's not obvious.
To me, this song came off as like a radio track.
But I liked it more than the last one.
No, for sure. I did like it more than the last one. It's just, I don't know. It just doesn't have the same energy. It doesn't have the same like craziness. It feels like they're trying to end on a happy note, which, you know, I guess when you're thinking of like Escape from New York and like kind of the dark gritty that we kind of got on the album, I guess I understand this whole like trying to end on a positive note. Maybe we've escaped from New York now and we're living in LA and we're rich and all this stuff. So like I can understand the whole positive vibe. I don't know. I feel like it just didn't match up to what I really wanted it. But overall, I mean, the song isn't bad. They all stand up nice to each other. They all kind of give what they have to say and really express how they're kind of feeling. I feel like this is one of not the posse cut, but like
This is just some
like,
fucking
this
pop.
Is just,
this is pop to me.
Right. Overall, I gave it a 4.
It's all right. The last song on this album, I like better.
What did you give it?
Oh, I gave it a 4.35 because it's slightly better than the last one. Next track is called the last song on the album, Choir, like a bunch of people singing.
It's never too late now. Stop second guessing and put yourself in my place. Lord knows I got.
This one has like a bit of a gospel-y feel to the beat.
Well, last choir kind of.
Otherwise, it's uplifting. You have them kind of just. It feels like they're celebrating. They're recognizing where they're at with shit.
Which is nice. It's got a very
Like
nice,
destiny,
positive feel.
This my destiny. This my birthright. Patience. I agree, Meechy. That type of shit we should be rapping more. Not drinking and driving. Positivity and accomplishing your goals. Takes patience. You can't turn time. Bless me. And that's a cool idea. Patience, because you can't control the tone of time. It's gonna take as long as it takes. You have to ride that shit out. All the blessing me from your eye testing me, got to test to me, we gonna make it our destiny. And it's almost like the perseverance and the different things that challenged them along the way forced them to overcome and get to where they are today, which
Crazy
is
driven.
dope. You know, and then Meechy's verse is really fucking cool, man. Just the idea that like he's grateful that he has this opportunity to write songs and get paid and do it all proper in light of the fact that it was not the simplest thing to accomplish there. I think Kirk Knight does another good verse too. I enjoy what he says. Like, even though it's less expensive, you gotta savor the taste. And that hate shit, it's never the time or the place. Even when they seem to be hating on other people early. Anyway, not doing it anymore. It's pretty fucking dope. I really enjoyed it. When you know you got sauce, you gotta raise your rate, and that's not a debate. That's some good, solid advice. That's the type of shit they should have been doing the whole album, in my opinion. Because to be the GOAT, you have to be about that community. You have to be uplifting. You have to be educational to the youth. You cannot be the GOAT if you're talking about alcohol and driving. Like, in that regard, you can't be detrimental. I like how Erick's like, Lord knows I got time to kill when I see these steps. I went to LV on the loafers because I was penniless. And I like the fact that he's acknowledging his excessive spending on wealth because of the environment that he came from and shit.
Right.
Ground Wizard with the sanctions, move up like I'm your tenant, and now it's such an awkward time. It's hard to get shine without the gimmicks. Honest approach to how people have to make their way through the game and how fucking garbage it is. Confusion of the culture of the holster. One shot can hold me over. Now I'm right back to Magnolia. Like, this might be one of the nicest, most intelligent, well-written songs in the entire fucking project. I really, really liked what he had to do with it. I like the Savior's proper too, coming in fluid with his verse. Till the sky fall, go hard up into pain, O'Neal, and train your skill. Replace the word can't with will.
Boom.
Again, this educational, this proactive. Like, where the fuck was this the last 4 songs, you know?
I think
This
it's
is like
part
the
of-
goatiest goat shit they've done on the album.
But I think it's part of it. I think it's part of, like, because I mean, at least from what I recall, we've done a lot of album reviews where it's like you get a lot of dark shit, let's call it, and then at the end they kind of ended on this positive tone of like after through the trek in the mud. It's like we kind of.
But it didn't feel like there was a huge trek in the mud the whole album.
I do agree. I'm just saying, like, I
Kind of like a
got
lot of
that,
celebrating this album.
Fair
A
enough.
lot of flossing, and now it's like, oh, we should tell you how we got
a lot
here.
of drug taking and money
But
making.
Meechy Darko's fucking dope on this little last part. Independent money. Might call me a Rari. Got shooters on my bodyguard because I don't trust nobody. They think it all started from thoughts inside my noggin. But creativity easy when you're starving. And the implication that it's a lot harder when you're not. And just like when you're hungry and you got to get out the situation and you're not making it, it's easy to come up with any desperate means to pull it through. But as time goes on, it gets more complicated and shit. I don't know. I like this song. I think it ends the album on a good way. It's a 4.5 for me.
I left it out of 4, honestly. I think I like how they all kind of like they come together and they really just kind of ended on a positive note. But I think that I at this point I'm just kind of like over with it. It really, the last couple of songs really just kind of drained that heavy energy from me, and now I'm just kind of like, oof. I'm kind of happy it's over. But overall, the performance on this song was very good. The mixing and the volume and the production of the instrumental was good. And I think that if they were to, take these 3 last songs and maybe spread it out through the album, it may have hit me a little bit differently, just kind of breaking the dark, grimy, not verses, but the sounds and stuff throughout the album, and kind of maybe like plop one happy here, plop one happy there. That would have been pretty cool. But overall, I landed this out of 4 as well.
So I gave this album, the whole project, the Beast Coast Escape from New York, a 4.47 on 5.
Oh, shit.
I think this album had all the potential of being a fucking modern classic, but decided that it also wanted to be a pop album at the same time. I think when they're doing the super lyrical shit, when they're really pushing that direction over, say, other ones, you can really feel the lyrics, you can feel the bars, you can feel the energy, you can feel this like backpacker, powerful, lyric-driven shit. And then it almost feels like they get a little bit too big for their bridges at a certain point and stop backing it up as they go maybe a little more hedonistic pop, wealthy sound,
Sure.
which to me is just a little bit too pop for guys who are trying to claim to like be better than that shit.
Right.
Which is fine. And then they close it out on a positive note, which is cool. And I feel like very mixed. You can tell that there's a lot of talent here. These guys are top tier lyricists, but it's also super clear that they kind of half want to be the best. They want to be the best for the sake of the money and the glory and the partying and that side it feels and the wealth of it all. But they don't want to be the best for the social responsibility that comes along with it, is what I kind of took away. They touch on it, but you don't really feel it like you kind of are hoping for. Anyway, I do like this project. I'm excited to see what all these guys do next. I know that my little summary here makes it kind of sound like I don't, but I really think this is a brilliant album that is well composed and people should check out. But I also think that half the album is excellent and half the album is a little bit disappointing at parts. Not disappointing, that's a strong word, but disappointing relative to how amazing this project achieves at its high points.
Nice. Overall, I gave the album a 4.2. I liked it. I really enjoyed all the artists that were on this superpower group. It kind of gave me a little bit of what I expected. The reason why I say that is because like all of the Flatbush Zombie verses, I'm not saying they're identical to Vacation in Hell, but coming off of that project, it's like, okay, I can see the elements. I know where they're from. I've heard you do your thing before, so I'm kind of like, well knowledgeable about what you do. Joey, the same thing. Like, you know, we reviewed All American Badass and then the Underachievers as well, but it's different when they mix it up between the different artists. Like, for example, I'm so used to like the Underachievers having their kind of pattern in terms of like who raps after who, because they're only two guys. But like in this one, you know, they're dropping it all over the place, which was it's pretty cool.
I do want to emphasize that these are guys who collectively, the 9 or 10 of them or whatever, they all equally sound good next to each other.
Yes. So overall, I think this is a really good project. I'm actually a little bit more interested in maybe their next project if they do make another one, because I think that for this first one, it may have been like the trial run. Like, this is the first Beast Coast album. Like, this is what we can do. This is what we're presenting. You know, once you get all the feedback of what Beast Coast is, maybe their next album might be way more epic or stellar. But this is a great project, and I think that, you know, everybody should give this a listen.
I just think they need to focus on being the thought leaders they can be in this shit, because to be that dope in a world where vapid and materialism owns it, you're not distinct if you're being materialistic and vapid. Like, you're not. To be distinct, you have to share that wisdom, which they started to do. And again, I don't want to come off critical, because I know that y'all watching this tend to really like the shit, but I think it's a fair criticism to make. Not the quality of their skill, but just the intentions behind their lyrics is what I think I take some issue with. Either way, more important than what we think is what y'all think, and we look forward to hearing that shit down in the comments. So feel free to, you know, respond and let us know what your thoughts are on anything that we've said here. I know a couple of these things might have been a little thought-provoking. Also, feel free to hit that subscribe button for more reviews, or you can hit that like button if you like what we do here and it tells the Google overlords that we're cool. And if you do happen to see that little thing that goes, do you want to get more of this content recommended to you? Feel free to hit yes, because Google obviously is taking that seriously. Anyway, special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Good MC, DJ Black Hurricane, Jonathan Barnes, Wendell Williams, and Chris Prado. They support what they do. They helped us get a new camera, which I've dropped on the floor a few times, and it has a crack on it I can see now. But otherwise, it works nice so far. We will try to stop dropping it. They get to tell us what albums to review every couple of weeks, so this weekend we're going to be recording Mr. Jonathan Barnes' request for The Far Side. And if you want to see us do a particular album, you can ask in the comments, or you can cut the line like an amusement park through Patreon. Anyway, I understand if you're not down for that. We also make music. We're going to keep releasing shit over this channel. It's fun. Hopefully you like it. Check it out so you can let us know if you think we're full of shit or you think we're dope. Anyway, have a great night, and pro era all the way. Joey Badass, don't kick my ass. I'm so sorry.